The first thing this woman does after her rebirth is to change the mechanism inside the puzzle lock, because whoever can solve this puzzle lock will become her husband. In her past life, the woman wanted to marry the prince, so she told the prince ahead of time how to solve the puzzle lock. The woman got her wish and became the crown princess, but after the prince became emperor, he burned his bridges and killed her, simply because the woman took the prince's White Moonlight's place, causing his beloved to become depressed and die from heartbreak. Fortunately, heaven took pity on her and let the woman be reborn on the day of choosing her husband. So now, she decisively changed the mechanism in the puzzle lock, swearing that this lifetime, she would make the prince pay the price he deserves. Then she went before the emperor, ready to choose a husband, and declared that whoever can solve this puzzle lock, she will marry. But surprisingly, the prince had also been reborn, and immediately brought his White Moonlight back from the brothel, declaring he would marry his beloved as crown princess. The woman was originally happy to see this happen, but the prince pushed his luck further, and shamelessly announced that, for the sake of the realm, he would also marry the woman as his side consort, because the woman was the Mahist leader, and whoever wins her wins the world. But he didn't know the woman had been reborn, and this time she would never repeat the same mistakes, so she reminded the prince that only by solving her puzzle lock could he make her marry down. The prince was completely confident, and calmly picked up the puzzle lock to solve it. But then he discovered that the solution the woman told him no longer worked, so he angrily threw down the puzzle lock, accusing the woman of playing tricks to raise her own value, trying to embarrass the royal family. Then he continued begging the emperor to allow his White Moonlight to be his crown princess, even volunteering to pacify the Northwestern Rebellion.
毕竟前世我可是大圣西北，被百姓们称为救世之主。
But he didn't know his glorious military achievements couldn't happen without the woman's family's support, and this lifetime, the prince is destined to accomplish absolutely nothing. But the prince thought he had won both the world and his White Moonlight, so he was completely satisfied and arrogantly left with his beloved. But the woman stayed behind because she was waiting for someone, and very soon, the 8th prince arrived fashionably late. Looking at the drunk 8th prince, the woman couldn't help remembering her past life before death, when the 8th prince stood in front of her protectively. Only then did she realize that actually, the 8th prince had always loved her deeply. Fortunately, heaven gave her a second chance. Looking at the living 8th prince, the woman boldly asked the emperor to let the 8th prince try the lock. And the 8th prince, even though he was too drunk to keep his eyes open, easily solved the puzzle lock. Seeing this, the woman kept her promise and asked the emperor to let the 8th prince be her husband. The emperor was naturally very pleased and immediately set the wedding of the woman and 8th prince for 7 days later. Meanwhile, the prince, worried that the woman really wouldn't marry him, specially waited at the woman's house, trying to convince the woman to become his side consort. Seeing the woman firmly reject him, the prince suddenly became narcissistic, thinking the woman was just playing hard to get, claiming that the woman had a powerful family backing her, so even as a side consort, no one would dare bully her. Then, he shamelessly promised the woman that whenever his White Moonlight had her monthly cycle, he would visit the woman's room more often, even generously, allowing the woman to have 2 children. But he still only received the woman's cold rejection.